Toastmasters was famous for carrying a pickaxe handle and hitting black people in the head when they came into his restaurant. He was the governor who refused to abide by immigration and instead closed the Pickwick Cafe instead of allowing them blacks in his restaurant. My grandfather raised me most of my life as a child. He was my father figure. My grandfather taught me his language, the language of prejudice, the language of hate, the language of racism. But Granddaddy, he didn't discriminate. When it came to racism, he was an equal opportunity racist. He made fun of the blacks, he made fun of the Asians, he made fun of the Italians, he made fun of the Jews. He made fun of everybody. He's an equal opportunity racist. But that was the kingdom that I was born in. I was born an alcoholic. My mother married Otto. I remember very clearly my earliest childhood memories of going into Barry's Bar and Grill. At 10 a.m. in the morning, Otto would sit me up at the bar stools and I would play around the bar while he drank early in the morning. Now, most kids were out playing on the monkey bars in the playground. Well, I was playing at Barry's Bar in the adult playground. And I remember my mother one night crying on the phone with the power company, begging them to let the power come back on in the freezing night. Because Otto spent more money on his alcohol than he did on the utilities. But that was the kingdom I was raised in. I was born an abusive father. My mother married Sam, my third father, by the time I was 10 years old. And I can remember Sam when he did not like when I didn't do what I was told. He would get angry and he would get frustrated and he would pull off his belt and he would roll it up and then he would snap that belt right before he beat me across the back, beat me across the legs, beat me across the arms, leaving big welts. I was scared of Sam. Sam told me, he said, I am the king of my castle, and you will do what I tell you. That was the kingdom that I was raised in. I was born a murderer. At 16, I ran away from home. Went to live with my grandparents. My grandmother told me a family secret. She said, Tony, Sam killed his first wife. He shot her 8 times and dumped her out of her truck because she wouldn't do what she was told. I was afraid of Sam. There were many days I wet my pants before I got beat. Sam was my king, and I was afraid of Sam. When my youngest daughter was 4, she wouldn't go to bed. She was acting up. I was getting angry. I was getting frustrated. I reached for my belt. I whipped it off, raised it up, snapped it, looked at my daughter. She looked at me, jokingly said, Dad, you don't want to do that. That's going to hurt you more than it is me. The wisdom of a 4-year-old. But that very moment, it snapped, just like my belly. I am Sam. That was the kingdom I was raised in. But I am not a racist. I am not an alcoholic. I am not a child abuser. I'm not a murderer. Our fathers may be our kings, but we don't have to become the kings that our fathers were. Even though you may have been born into a kingdom specific to you, mine, of racism, of alcoholism, and abuse, you can choose to rule your own kingdom. I chose to rule my life as I wanted. And I challenge you to rule your kingdom as you see fit. I challenge you to become the king or queen of your kingdom. I challenge you to rule your life the way you want it. Your Highness.